It always starts with something small, something that looks harmless on the surface. A few likes on Twitter, a passing joke in an interview, a moment of awkward silence during a press panel. But when it comes to Zendaya and Sweeney, those little things didn't stay little for long. They turned into whispers behind the scenes, blinds dropping left and right, and a wave of speculation that refused to die. And now, with Euphoria's new season finally approaching, the cracks people noticed years ago are splitting wide open, revealing a feud that's been simmering under the surface from the very beginning. Most people didn't even realize how deep it went until fans started digging up what Sydney was doing online back in 2021. The timing made everything look 100 times messier. Zendaya and Tom Holland had just gone public, finally confirming what everyone already suspected. Tom was showing up on the Euphoria set regularly to see Zendaya, and everybody on set knew it, Sydney included. And that's where things started spiraling, because instead of just minding her business, fans noticed Sydney had been liking tweets about Tom, tweets that weren't subtle, tweets that made people raise eyebrows and screenshot fast before anything could disappear. One tweet about Tom being so DMN fine was already enough to get people talking, but when fans realized she had liked more than just that one, the internet lit up like a Christmas tree. That's when the blinds started coming in. The ones saying Sydney didn't like Zendaya, that she was trash-talking her, that she was jealous, that she wanted Zendaya's man. These weren't new blinds either. Some of them dated back years, long before all hell broke loose. People thought they were exaggerated at first, the usual internet nonsense, until the receipts lined up in a way nobody could ignore anymore. And then came the part nobody wanted to talk about, but everyone secretly believed. The idea that Sydney didn't just admire Tom Holland, she wanted him. And when people started putting the puzzle pieces together, everything started making a strange amount of sense. Insiders claimed Zendaya noticed everything. She wasn't causing drama, wasn't lashing out, wasn't making a scene. She just quietly pulled back, choosing professionalism over chaos. But behind closed doors, the vibe wasn't the same. People who worked on set said Zendaya became more guarded. No more playful banter, no more bonding moments between scenes. She showed up, did the work, and left. And according to sources close to production, she wasn't trying to be difficult. She was protecting her peace, protecting her relationship, protecting her reputation. Because the one thing Zendaya doesn't tolerate is disrespect, especially when it hits close to home. The tension reportedly reached a point where Zendaya requested no one-on-one interviews with Sydney, no joint press, no cutesy red carpet moments, nothing that could be twisted, clipped, or sensationalized. To the outside world, it looked normal, two actresses doing their jobs. But insiders swore the energy had changed. No more inside jokes, no more relaxed chemistry, just icy professionalism that made everyone around them walk on eggshells. Then, as if things weren't messy enough, fans remembered that interview where someone jokingly suggested Tom Holland could have a cameo in Euphoria. Sydney giggled like she knew something the rest didn't, dropping a Spider-Man should come and save the day line that immediately felt off. The whole Zoom call went dead silent. You could practically hear the virtual side-eyes. Everyone else kept straight faces while Sydney looked like she had accidentally said the quiet part out loud. But what really set things off was when fans found even more likes linking Sydney to Tom. People swore she was liking thirsty tweets about him while he was literally on set visiting Zendaya. They claimed Sydney was giving him the kind of attention you give when you want someone to notice. And the timing made it even worse. Right as Zendaya and Tom went public, Sydney was out here tapping that like button like she was trying to send a message. And just when things looked like they couldn't get any more chaotic, another blind dropped. This one said the super-thin actress and the illiterate actress had such a massive fallout that they refused to do joint promo. Fans immediately decoded who was who. Because when it comes to blind items, nobody wastes time pretending. People started pulling up old clips and newer ones, comparing body language, facial expressions, the way Zendaya subtly angled her body away during interviews. Every micro-expression became evidence. Every awkward moment became a clue. Then the American Eagle situation resurfaced. The old controversy that Sydney suddenly started talking about again, dragging it back into the spotlight. People wondered why she brought it up now, of all times. And that's when theories started floating that celebrities were quietly distancing themselves from her, not publicly, not dramatically, but enough for fans to notice patterns, enough for people to say something felt off. But there was more, much more. And most people didn't even realize how far back the tension went until they dug up blinds from 2022 and 2023. One blind spelled out a messy triangle involving Sydney, Timothée Chalamet, and Zendaya. It claimed Sydney and Timmy were teaming up behind the scenes in ways that made Zendaya uncomfortable. Then another blind came out months later saying Sydney wouldn't stop talking about her character, her storyline, and wanting more screen time. It described her as taking over conversations and dominating every discussion, even when it wasn't about her. By 2024, the blinds only got worse. Some said Zendaya and Sydney had completely different ideas about the future of the show. Zendaya spoke cautiously about Season 3, saying she wasn't sure what was happening. Meanwhile, Sydney was boldly claiming the show was definitely returning, like she knew everything. Two main stars giving opposite answers. Fans immediately sensed tension. Something wasn't adding up. Then came the paycheck rumors. Insiders claimed Sydney's salary had been bumped significantly, which made fans question what was happening behind the scenes. Was she being positioned as the new face of the show? Was the studio preparing for a future where Zendaya wasn't front and center? And more importantly, did Zendaya notice? Because right after that, Zendaya and Tom Holland were photographed together on what looked like a deliberate outing. The kind celebrities do when they want the world to see something. They looked united, solid, unbothered. Fans interpreted it as Zendaya making a quiet but firm statement. A reminder that despite all the noise, her relationship was real, intact, and not up for debate. But the biggest shift happened when the Rolling Stone expose hit. The one calling Sam Levinson's set toxic. The one that blindsided the industry. The one that reportedly caught even Zendaya off guard. People said the article created shockwaves behind the scenes, especially because Zendaya had always been seen as the stabilizing force, the quiet leader, the one trying to hold everything together while chaos brewed around her. And when the article exposed uncomfortable truths about the environment she had defended for years, something in her changed. Insiders claimed she distanced herself not just from the set, but from Sam. Their once strong creative bond had cooled into something distant and strained. The moment Sam tried to blame Zendaya for the delays, she snapped back publicly. She pointed out she had been free for 2 years. No scheduling conflict, no excuses. She subtly made it clear the holdup wasn't her. And insiders nodded quietly, saying the scripts weren't done. That Sam was deflecting, and that Zendaya was tired of being the scapegoat. That's when the deeper dynamic became impossible to ignore. Zendaya had grown into a global superstar. She was filming blockbuster movies, leading campaigns, becoming one of the most influential actresses of her generation. And that kind of growth changes people. It changes relationships, expectations, the stake everyone has in your image. Sam reportedly felt resentment, like he believed he was responsible for her rise, and she had outgrown him. That kind of bitterness festers, and once it mixes with power imbalances and public pressure, it becomes a breeding ground for conflict. Meanwhile, Sydney was rising too. Fast, her fame skyrocketed, her endorsements multiplied. But with that rise came a different kind of scrutiny. People started comparing the two actresses more intensely than ever. Their careers, their looks, their roles, their personalities, everything became a competition fans created even when the actresses didn't ask for it. And when Sydney seemed to get more spotlight in certain moments, some insiders believed it added fuel to a fire that was already burning. Cast members reportedly noticed the shift first. Not yelling, not arguments, just cold tension that lingered in the air whenever Zendaya and Sydney were in the same room. Enough for everyone else to stay careful with their words. Enough for people to keep conversations light. Enough for insiders to whisper that the vibe wasn't what it used to be. Not even close. But the wildest part? Fans now believe their tension played a role in the long delays and confusion over Season 3. Every mixed answer, every quiet move, every conflicting interview added another piece to the puzzle. And when insiders started leaking that the two actresses barely spoke unless necessary, it painted a picture that felt more real than any rumor ever had. The tension wasn't new. It simply became impossible to hide. People started rewatching clips, dissecting tiny reactions, replaying interviews frame by frame. The fandom went into detective mode, and every micro-expression became a headline. Every silence became a theory. Every awkward moment became evidence. And now that Season 3 is finally moving forward, fans are wondering what it will look like when the two biggest faces of the show are barely even acknowledging each other behind the scenes. People say Zendaya wants minimal shared screen time. People say Sydney is pushing for bigger arcs. People say producers are panicking because the heart of the show was always their dynamic, and now that dynamic is fractured beyond repair. And maybe the wildest part of all? The story isn't done. If anything, it's just getting started. As the season gets closer, the rumors get louder, the blinds get bolder, the interviews get tighter, and every new leak makes the tension feel even more undeniable. One thing's for sure. Whatever happens next won't be quiet. Not with the internet watching, not with fans connecting dots faster than insiders can deny them, and certainly not with Zendaya and Sydney at the center of one of the industry's loudest, most complicated behind-the-scenes dramas. If you want the next chapter of this saga, keep watching, because the story isn't slowing down, it's accelerating, and the next update might be the one that blows the whole situation wide open.